Hello everybody, it's Ezra time again and welcome back to another reaction video. And today I'm gonna be reacting to game theory about Fnaf obviously. You're meant to lose Fnaf VR help wanted game theory. So I did watch some let's play of the Fnaf VR help wanted. I kinda watched Doko let's play. I kinda watched MatPat, some of it. And right now I kinda watch Markiplier, let's play. And I did see the ending of the game, and it's kind of confused me, a lot. And I think this game is there is so much going on in this game, and I think MatPat has something to say there, obviously. But anyway, without further ado, let's just get into the video, shall we? Because I'm really curious what MatPat theory is about this new game. Oh,
It's back!
yeah, never ending. Always.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that clearly doesn't understand the meaning of the word final.
It's finally
Yeah.
over. That is the end. Last FNAF lore theory, FNAF is at its end. The end. Final.
How many times
final
MatPat
FNAF
say was final theory?
But can you really blame me? These games have confirmed
Yeah, I mean, no one can
endings in FNAFs
blame him.
3, 4, 6, and Ultimate Custom Night. It's like Doctor Strange saw
times.
14 million different endings and Scott Cawthon was like, I'll take them all! Beginning to think FNAF World's inclusion of FNAF 57 Freddy in Space was less of a joke,
Freddy
more of a
in Space.
preview of coming attractions. So anyway, it's back. Call it whatever you like. FNAF 7, FNAF VR, Help Wanted, MatPat Insanity Simulator. But after a year of detoxing, Five Nights at Freddy's is back with a new official game in the series, and it, more so than any other installment, feels like an inflection point. A game that is simultaneously looking back to pay tribute to where these games began, as well as a game that's looking forward to lay the groundwork for where this franchise is headed. This isn't just some quick VR cash grab for the series, this is a pivotal game in the canon that closes the book on the old lore and also launches us into FNAF the next generation. It seems to answer some old mysteries from the previous games, all while opening up the themes and tone for what's to come. And there is a lot to unpack here. This is, without question, the meatiest game in the FNAF library, which is impressive because it's still a VR title. So let's not waste any time and get started with the basics. Now, in case you don't have a VR headset, I've actually played through the entire game on GT Live, so you can check out all the highlights.
Yeah, he did, guys.
No!
If you wanna check it out.
Are you kidding me?
So I have a VR headset, obviously.
And lowlights of my playthrough over there.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm here to give you your happiest day ever.
Oh,
Come with me,
MatPat.
wayward souls. We've got vengeance to strike.
But let me quickly
I
take
am
you through what you need to know for today's theory. In Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, we're playing as a beta tester for a new Freddy game. As we're told in the opening cinematic,
We know that Fazbear Entertainment has developed something of a bad reputation over the last few decades. While it's true that some stories associated with our name were loosely based on actual events, the majority of them were total fabrications from the mind of a complete lunatic. Lawsuits pending.
and yes, that
Yeah,
picture
Scott.
is really Scott Cawthon canonically inserting himself into this game. That is a discussion for another episode, my friends, because it throws all sorts of weird monkey wrenches into the lore, but we'll
Now
get
Scott
to
Cawthon
that
in
later.
the
So according
game.
to the intro, Scott's
God.
Games gave Fazbear Entertainment a bad name, and the point of this Freddy Fazbear virtual experience
getting
then is to
complicated.
poke fun of their past, clear their name, and ultimately rebuild the brand. Seems simple enough, right? Play through some loving recreations
Kinda
of past
simple.
games as well as some new mini-games, and that's it. Job complete. A new generation of Faz fans fall in love with all these new characters and add to Scott Cawthon's growing pile of money.
Don't forget the merch, perfect for birthdays.
Speaking of merch, Fazbear Entertainment ain't the only ones chilling for their supper. Game Theory merch is also perfect for birthdays. Heck, probably even more
Okay, you're
perfect
gonna
for
talk
birthdays,
about the merch
Scott.
now,
And
Matt.
wouldn't you know it, we just released a bunch of new items for you. Can't sleep at night because you got some creepy
I'm gonna try
animatronic
to
hanging
skip
out in
it,
your
guys. I'm
closet?
sorry.
We've got you covered. It's a neck. And if you're a fan of these socks or clothing,
Oh,
here,
hang on
or
a
much
second.
everyone here is recreated. Now, with that out of the way, back to VR. Playing through the
Okay.
game, it is legitimately impressive. Pretty much everyone here is recreated in a stunning
It
3D
is really
environment.
impressive, though.
Bonnie, Baby, Funtime Freddy
They all
the
look
Puppet, heck,
realistic
even Easter egg appearances by
some
Mini
way.
Renas and Lolbit. Characters that most of you watching
Oh, I
this
didn't see
probably
Mini
haven't
Rena
even
there.
heard of before because you have much better things to do with your brain space than I do. Practically
I guess.
everyone is here in this game, except for one important omission. Golden
Golden
Freddy.
Freddy.
I mean, Ballora isn't around either, but you know, I said
Oh
important.
yeah, Ballora isn't around.
But that seems weird, right? I mean, this is a game that drops you into perfect recreations of the first 3 installments of the series. You don't just forget about one of the most important characters to the lore of these games. Well,
good
that's
point.
because it isn't some careless oversight. Golden Freddy isn't here for a reason. It's our first clue that this game isn't just a joke and is a canonical entry. Specifically, it tells us where it falls in line with everything else that we've played through. Golden Freddy isn't here because she's busy hanging out in HE double Chica arms with William Afton.
Oh, yeah,
Think
in
back
hell
to the
with
end of Ultimate Custom Night
William.
and our previous theories. By tracking the voice lines used throughout the game over screens, we were able to piece together that we're
This
playing
makes
as
total
William
sense,
Afton
though.
in that game. Child
So,
killer extraordinaire.
technically
And that the
after
whole game was him
Ultimate Custom
trapped in
Night
heck to
and
atone
Fnaf
for his
6, obviously.
sins. And the thing that was keeping him there was the one he should not have killed, a girl named Cassidy. The spirit who had
Yeah.
an axe to grind, possessing the Golden Freddy suit. The reason Golden Freddy isn't in FNAF VR is because the spirit is down there tormenting Willie A forever, from here until the end of the series. That's why the ultimate ending of Custom Night was Golden Freddy twitching off into the darkness. Cassidy never gives up her soul, no matter what Old Man Consequences said. Further cementing that Help Wanted is now at the end of the FNAF timeline is this miserable little creature right here, the Scrap Baby plush. Because why wouldn't you want to cuddle with something
look
that
freaky,
rips in
though.
half and eats children alive? Let me remind everyone who doesn't have an
Good point.
encyclopedic index of all 60 plus animatronics that have graced the screen in this franchise, that
of
Scrap
FNAF
Baby
universe.
is the homeless hobo version
Sorry, I can
of the
spell that
old
right.
baby after escaping sister location and who was voted out of the Ennard tribe sometime between FNAF 5 and 6. Her only on-screen appearance is in FNAF 6, so the fact that a reference to her exists in this game at all means that it must come after her expulsion
After
from
FNAF
Ennard,
6
sometime
and
definitely after FNAF
after
5, but
that.
again, with Golden Freddy missing, it seems to secure it after everything's burned down and closed. So we have ourselves a company that's trying to rebuild its reputation after a series of tragic events. Seems pretty simple, right? Of course not. This is a FNAF game. You know that the story
Yeah.
is never going to be that obvious. Hidden throughout the game are
never.
cassette tapes that, when collected, unleash a new monster into the hallways of this pizzeria. What the game's files refer to as Glitch Trap. A yellow bunny
Glitch
with
Trap,
purple
really.
eyes. Yellow
He looks
bunny with
freaky,
purple
though.
eyes, you
I'm not
say?
gonna lie.
I think I might know where this is headed. As you collect more and more tapes, this glitch rabbit comes closer and closer, becoming more and more fully formed. Beat all the minigames, and you unlock the final challenge, Pizza Party, a nightmarish fever dream that mashes together every location that you just played through. Waiting for you at the end of this horrific maze is the single scariest moment from the entire franchise.
Yeah, that's
and I can't
kinda
emphasize
scary,
that
though, I'm not
enough.
gonna
It is
lie.
literally chilling. What you learn is that you, a 7-year-old, have been lured to the back room of Freddy's. And what awaits you is your pizza party, complete with your favorite flavor of cake, all your best animatronic friends, and then Glitch Trap calls you to follow him. The music
there is
fades. And
very
suddenly
freaky,
you're on
though.
stage.
Not
You're
gonna
holding
lie.
Freddy's microphone. You are Freddy. You've been stuffed. You are now a missing child, watching as your killer dances gleefully to the song that you're being
Yeah, seeing
forced
him
to
dancing
stand up
around
on
is just
stage and sing.
disturbing.
This isn't just
lot.
a spoopy jump scare of some goofy character. This is real horror. So it definitely
Yeah.
seems like this new character, Pedo Hair, over here is William Afton. I
Pedo
mean,
Hair.
sure, the suit isn't as bulky as a Springlock suit, but he's got all the other qualifications down. Yellow bunny fursona, check. Association with the color purple, check. Enjoys children's pizza parties, just a wee bit too much. Big old check again. Then again, to call this character William would be missing a huge chunk of this game's story. This isn't William. Like I said, he's trapped in eternal torment with Cassidy, listening
Yeah,
to Barney
William
the
is
hippo
in
over here
hell.
tell his life story.
Dry bread
Which
was
Mr.
always
Hippo?
fresh on Tuesday. They made sourdough bread on Monday and threw it out Wednesday. What was I saying?
No, to understand who, or better put, what this thing actually is, we need to examine the tapes that summon Glitch Trap here in the first place. Scattered throughout the various minigames are 16 glitching cassettes left behind by a former game dev, Tape Girl, which, when put together, tell the story of a failing game company, a bit of malicious code, and some very stabby office supplies. We're also introduced to the story of another beta tester who was in our position before us, named Jeremy, making this the third time that the name Jeremy has appeared in these games, with the first being FNAF 2's Night Guard, and then again on the gravestones in FNAF 6. Coincidence? I think not. The first tape immediately makes it clear we're not picking these up in chronological order.
There are more. They may not be in order.
Which leaves us the task of shuffling them into some modicum of sense in order to put the story together of what really happened while this game, the game we're supposedly playing now in its final form, was in development. Going through the tapes, I've done the shuffling for you, and I think I've come up with the most cohesive narrative based on the evidence and what Tape Girl actually says. She begins by telling us that the game's then playtester Jeremy has been complaining to his manager Dale about nightmares. Except he's not explaining them like they're nightmares, he's talking about them like they're real.
He wasn't talking about it like someone telling a friend about his dreams, though. He was pale. He doesn't even jump anymore. He just stands there like he's talking to someone.
Pale? Doesn't react to scares? Talking to themselves? Sounds to me like he's going crazy. Either that or he's just a FNAF YouTuber. Hashtag relatable, am I right? The game he's working on is this one, Freddy Fazbear's Virtual Experience, which includes some code that was inherited from Fazbear Entertainment. Scanned off some old hard drives to save him time and money.
It was just junk. Circuit boards and things like that. It seemed to take hold by itself. But then, he started appearing. At least that's what Jeremy said.
Manager Dale doesn't seem to take Jeremy's warning seriously, however, and instead he starts documenting all of Jeremy's behavior in preparation to fire him.
You can always tell when a company is getting ready to fire someone. The thing about it is that I don't think they were going to fire him because of anything he was doing wrong. They just knew he'd seen something.
This confirms for us one major detail, that the scariest thing in the FNAF universe is crunch time. Working long hours until you're driven crazy and then fired at the end? Man, it's just like the real-life games industry. It's uncanny. These games just get more and more realistic. So Jeremy is going crazy and no one is listening. Flash forward to tape 6 where Tape Girl talks about coming in early one morning to see the supply room lit and Jeremy in the darkened testing room. It's a short tape, but it's an important one because it sets us up for tape number 9 when we learn that what she saw looked like a Halloween mask laying on the ground and a bunch of ink both on Jeremy and scattered around the floor. But that's not ink, and that's no mask. The ink is Jeremy's blood, and the mask is actually Jeremy's face, which he presumably sliced off his own body using the aptly named guillotine paper cutter. We know this to be true thanks to tape number 4, where we hear Tape Girl say that the cutter comes from the supply room and that Jeremy expressly knew where it was.
I didn't even know we had one in the supply room. I was always afraid of losing a finger. That seems so silly now. Jeremy used to do design work. I guess that's how he knew it was there.
Why
and for as extreme as this sounds, we know that he sliced off his face due to all these seemingly minute details about how his face was obscured that morning.
I went back and peered in the window. I couldn't see his face. He had the visor covering his head.
Anyone else getting some bizarre Bite of 87 vibes from this story? No? Is it just me? Huh. So Jeremy eventually dies from his injuries. After Jeremy's death, things start getting even weirder, which is a relative statement considering that this is the FNAF franchise we're talking about. Tape Girl overhears a conversation about a lawsuit in the aftermath of Jeremy's death, which makes perfect sense given that he died a horrific death on the job. In response, the company starts taking some serious steps to cover their tracks, namely to sell off the game and destroy evidence that could incriminate him. In the meantime, Tape Girl takes over Jeremy's role as playtester, and all we can hope is that she really cleaned that VR headset before she put that thing back on. She has 3 days to playtest the game. Across her audio logs, we learn that in that time, she sees Glitch Trap for the first time and comes to learn that he's attached itself to her audio logs. She tries to delete them, but can't. So instead of deleting them, she fragments and disperses them into the 16 small pieces we've been collecting throughout our playthrough, warning us that they shouldn't be reunited at any cost.
Hide all traces of these logs that I've created. I fear that finding them and reassembling them will also reassemble the very thing I've tried so desperately to destroy.
Whoops! Probably shouldn't have hidden that info on tape 15 of 16. After
Yeah.
that, though, she seems to backtrack on her story, saying that in fact the entity in the game
Yeah, it's kinda
can be
weird.
killed, and that to do so we should reassemble the tapes. Odd, but okay, we've got them all anyway, so might as well see what we can do. Glitch Trap attacks us once we have 16 tapes, and if we don't respond in time, we trade places with him. For a brief second, we see through his eyes back down at the console that we
Oh,
were just
I've never seen
operating.
that.
Our consciousness has truly melded with his, just like the voiceover warned about at the top of the game.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for accidental digital consciousness transfers.
So
Yeah,
that's a
kinda
bad ending. But if we
wondering why
do manage to properly follow
you
Tape
say
Girl's
that.
instructions as he's trying to mind meld with us, well, he still seems like he escapes. Or at the very least, he definitely doesn't die. This should have been like some Mr. Smith in the Matrix moment where all his code disintegrates or something. But instead, we're trapped on one side of a door in the game. A bloody, hand-printed door with scratch marks clearly
Oh, I've
showing
never
people
seen that
stuck in here
handprint.
desperately trying to escape. And we see Glitch Trap practically skipping off into the darkness. This doesn't seem like the ending we should be getting for putting all the pieces of the tape together and following all the tape maker's instructions. That would basically mean that FNAF VR has 3 losing scenarios here. Getting stuffed at the end of the pizza party, transferring consciousness on the home screen, and getting locked behind the door if you choose to follow Tape Girl's instructions. That can't be right. Can it? Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's the point of the game. Maybe we are destined to lose no matter what we do here. I mean, think about it. The canon ending of Sister Location was a bad ending,
It's the
with
bad
Michael
ending,
getting scooped.
yeah.
The canon ending of FNAF 4 was a bad ending, with the crying child getting bitten. In FNAF 6, you and literally everyone
Get
else
burned down.
burned to death. I mean, it's considered a victory, but you're still dead.
it's still
now,
dead.
let's look closer at the text
know.
of the audio logs. There is something clearly wrong in them. The tapes start out just fine. They follow her story in a pretty logical way, and we know she's a real person in the real world because she's observing things from outside the game's testing room. Things like Jeremy complaining to management and the stuff that's present in the supply room. But then, upon closer inspection, you start noticing some strange anomalies. For instance, we have 2 tapes that both start with her introducing who she is. A hi or a hello followed by, you don't know me, or
Oh, I
can you
didn't
hear me,
realize
which
that.
is our first hint that something's a bit off. The same person is making these tapes the whole time for the same audience. So why introduce herself to us twice in both tape 1 and
yeah.
tape 15? Why would one end with her saying,
Now I fear that those logs are being used as a Trojan horse. If you're unable to abandon development, hide all
So,
traces of these logs that I've
They were
created.
meant to be
basically
fine,
telling
I
us to
guess.
hide the logs, but then also say this?
There are more. They may not be in order.
Basically inviting us to put them all together. Weirder still is the fact that the last file suddenly does this major about face relative to all the previous logs, where suddenly she says out of nowhere, oh yeah, there is a way to kill Glitch Trap. This is odd on a lot of different levels. The first and
Very
most
odd,
obvious being, if
honestly.
these instructions really do work and she's so sure about it, why didn't she follow them? If this method was actually
sense.
effective and she knew it was effective, Glitch Trap wouldn't be in the game anymore because she would have followed her own advice and wiped him out. How would she even know that this system works? The answer is, it clearly doesn't. Or at least it doesn't do what she says it's gonna do. That's because she's not trying to get you to kill off the entity in the code, she's trying to get you to release it. While we don't have every
Oh.
piece of the puzzle in this story, here's what I think actually happened with all these audio tapes. The tape maker starts out genuinely making these logs to document the weird stuff that's happening in the game studio. The stuff with
Yes.
Jeremy really happens. She really sees Glitch Trap in the game, but on her last day of playtesting, she tries to delete the files and fails. Instead of killing Glitch Trap, she undergoes a digital consciousness transfer, just like we do in one of the 3 bad endings, trapping her in the game and releasing Glitch Trap, presumably into her own body, or just releasing him into the real world. Both of which are possibilities that the game explicitly warns us about in the opening sequence.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for accidental digital consciousness
Yeah,
transference,
and you-
real-world manifestations of digital characters.
That, my
What?
friends, is why you always have to read the disclaimer. From inside the game,
Yeah.
she's now stuck, with her only hope for escape being to go through the same process she just went through from the other
Ah.
side. She creates a new log, starting over by saying,
Hello? Can you hear me?
which in reality is saying, hello, can you hear me in here? Since she's now making the log from inside the game. She tries to create a new story that encourages a future developer to piece the logs back together, and then seeds one final log out there to tease the idea that a future developer can solve the problem by killing off Glitchtrap using her log assembly method. It's smartly constructed, because she's counting on future developers having the same curiosity and determination she did. She even mentions this in one
So
of her
tape
earlier
was
logs,
Glitchtrap?
tape 3, that when Jeremy had told the developers that something was wrong,
But as a dev team, we all just saw it as a challenge to find what the problem was and fix it.
we do exactly the same thing, finding what's wrong and following the instructions on how to fix it, only to find ourselves on the wrong side of the door covered in handprints, where presumably lots of other people have been there before us. Glitchtrap, or whoever is in the body of Glitchtrap at this point, perhaps Tape Girl herself, disappears
Tape Girl,
into the
maybe.
darkness and takes over our body on the outside. And now it's our turn to wait for the next beta tester to come in, follow the tapes, and hand over their consciousness to us. Now, that last bit there is speculation based on the oddities in the audio logs and the fact that following her instructions results in seemingly yet another bad ending. But even if all of that about consciousness switching and her being trapped in the game and us taking her place trapped in the game isn't the case, the point is, William's back, just not in a way that any of us expected. What seems undeniable in Help Wanted's story
So he's
is the
an
fact
AI
that his
now,
consciousness was
right?
preserved in the circuit boards that got scanned to make this game. And now he's here as Glitchtrap, tricking players into letting him escape. It's no longer the same guy. He's now an AI replicating the behaviors of William and snatching the body of whatever completionist is determined enough to play through all the elements of the game. In a funny way, it's exactly like the story we've been piecing together for Petscop. Odd, actually.
Pet
Maybe
Scott.
they really are one and the same, both made by Scott Cawthon. The biggest lingering
Oh,
question
plot
now in my
twist.
mind,
They are
though,
connected.
how many Williams are out there? Is this just one instance of an AI looking to escape, and now we're the new host body? Or is it somehow able to replicate itself, copying and pasting its code into any mind out there that's playing its little game?
man.
Could we be
If this actually
entering a new
happen,
part of the FNAF franchise
very
with
crazy.
multiple William Aftons, all in completely different bodies? For as cool as that would be, and honestly, I think this game could open up that world, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that's why there's such an emphasis in this game on you being a beta tester. It's one instance of corrupted code, and you happen to be playing it. And now, you're infected by it. In the next generation of FNAF, you, or at least your body with William Afton's code in your head, is the new killer. And so on and so forth until we finally get to FNAF in space. But hey, that's
FNAF in
just a theory. A game theory. And we should probably
Wait,
talk about
wrong.
Jeremy. It's weird that his name is used 3 times. There is
Yeah,
no
3 times.
possible way that that's meant to be a coincidence. There's also this random appearance
gotta
of
be a
Shadow
reason.
Freddy, which I found in my playthrough, which again seems like an
Oh,
odd little
Shadow Freddy.
detail that's important to account for in
I
the
remember
pizza
Shadow
party
Freddy was
minigame. And the
in
fact that
Help
Glitchtrap
Wanted.
has 3 toes, just like the footprints that are outside of FNAF 6's house window. There is a lot
Oh.
more here in this game, but I honestly just need more time to think it all through. Rest assured, though, I'll be back.
I always
Always come back.
And that, my friends, is why you should subscribe and ring the bell to make sure that you're notified of all our new uploads, because you can bet I am not done with this new game quite just yet. There is just
there is a lot.
so much to unpack. And again, just as a
Yeah.
reminder, we upload new theories every Saturday or Sunday. We've been doing it for years now, so please support the
got
channel.
it.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I do really gotta figure out this Jeremy stuff. It's really bothering me. There's something here. There's something here. It's the linchpin in everything
Gotta
that
be
came
something.
before. This is weird, man. Also, Scott Cawthon's the villain in his own game. But, again, more on that one next time.
So yeah, guys, that was a game theory. FNAF, we were meant to lose, or you were meant to lose, and in FNAF VR Help Wanted. It's getting really, really, I don't know, to the next level, I guess. Because this time they're talking about an AI, which is William Afton consciousness. But I'm kind of wondering how William consciousness was transferred, or in the game, in the virtual experience. Like, there's no explanation on that, right? Like, he just there. I mean, I know he create animatronics and all that kind of stuff, but I still don't get how he transferred his consciousness to the game. And and the fact that MatPat is talking about there could be multiple William Afton out there, it's crazy, man. Again, he doesn't confirm it, but the game could open that world, it seems possible. I mean, if a game does that, man, that would be so cool, but complicated at the same time. And it seems like FNAF VR Help Wanted is opening a new lore, if you know what I mean, because FNAF 6N pretty much like wrapping up the entire story or the entire lore about William Afton, Michael Afton, Henry, his daughter, the puppet, and the ultimate custom that come out is about. It's like an epilogue. At least for me, it's like an epilogue, where William is like trapped in the hell purgatory, being tortured by his creation, and of course by Golden Freddy / Cassidy. And then this one obviously took place after FNAF 6 because, well, it's VR, They literally make a VR game in the story, and with just a beta tester, I'm sorry. And we're gonna see Glitch Trap, which is apparently William consciousness was in there, but it doesn't actually have any explanation on that. Maybe MatPat would explain that in the next video. Who knows, man? But yeah, I think FNAF VR Help Wanted is opening up a new lore to the series because pretty much the old one was done, and this one was like completely new. It's about AI now, and once again, like MatPat said, they could be multiple William Afton out there, which is crazy if the game actually follow that, Which, again, not confirmed, but if it does, it will be cool. But at the same time, complicated, and it's kind of messed up. It's very, very messed up, actually. And yet there is 3 Jeremy apparently, because when I heard about Jeremy, I thought about the kid, or at least I thought it was about the kid in FNAF 6, and then the security guard, obviously Jeremy Fitzgerald, and this guy's named Jeremy again. So I was wondering, like, is it like coincidence? Because once again, there's a lot of people in the world, obviously, and of course there is gonna be some people who has the same name, coincidentally, either the last name or the front name, or it could be like completely the same name. But then again, it's probably not possible. But yeah, it's kind of interesting why there is 3 Jeremy here. There's gotta be something. Uh, in my opinion, there's 2 things. Either there's gotta be like there is something in this one. There is something like sinister or something like that, or there is some connection, obviously, or maybe it's just a coincidence that his front name was Jeremy. But then again, we'll see, because MatPat is about to make this theory about Jeremy, so I'm really curious to look that up. And Scott Cotton inserted himself in the game, which is really nuts. And yeah, it's getting complicated basically. And Scott is the villain in this one apparently. I mean, looks like a villain, but then again, it seems like Scott, if Fazbear Entertainment know about this one, it seems like Scott was just trying to make this game out to tell the world that there is something wrong with Fazbear Entertainment and their merch or products. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really curious though, because Scott Cotton is in the game now, which is insane. And then there is 3 Jeremy, so I'm really curious to see what MatPat thought about Scott Cotton in the game, and then why there is 3 guys named Jeremy, which is really, really weird. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think FNAF is heading to the next level now, like to the next lore right now, because we're kind of done with like probably murdering kids and all that kind of stuff. It could still happen, because once again, William consciousness was transferred to the beta tester, so the murders could still happen. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that this time they include some technology right now. They include some AI. You know what I mean? And AI actually play a big part in this game, and yeah, seems realistic in a way, but at the same time also crazy. But yeah, I'm really interesting to see what next for FNAF, because we got, well, FNAF VR is already released. Next one we got the FNAF AR, FNAF Into Madness, which I think about an origin story, because I really want to see an origin story actually, guys. And then there is a AAA game, there is a book, 3 book I think, about to be released in December, I think. I don't know, I kind of forget. And of course the movie, like there's no news on the movie right now, which is, man, I really want to see the movie, you know. But anyway, there was Game Theory by MatPat. If you guys want to watch the original video, I will leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoy my reaction video, please leave a like, comment, maybe share this video with your friends or family, maybe subscribe to my channel. Yeah, thank everybody who been subscribing to this channel, who stay in this channel, watch my video. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much on that. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what his next theory was, MatPat next theory was, because I'm very curious about this Jeremy stuff and Scott Cotton in the game right now, which is completely complicated and crazy, but cool though. I'm not gonna lie, looks very cool. But yeah, anyway, guys, that was my reaction to Game Theory MatPat about FNAF VR Help Wanted, and yeah, I think that's basically it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.